Hey YouTube land, Cutthroat here doing another action figure review, and this time it's for the Power of the Primes Combiners Terrorcons. Now I only have 3 of the figures from the set, there should be 5. I'm missing Ripper Snapper and Hungar. Hungar, who forms the main centre body, he's the Voyager class, and then Ripper Snapper is the other deluxe. There is another one called Cindersaur, which came out as part of the same wave, but he can't remember, it's based on, it was a reuse of the Dinobot Slash mold, but in Dinobots it was a female Dinobot. I'm not sure if they changed the gender for the Power of the Primes Cindersaur, but he's just another monster bot, but he's not actually part of the Combiner team. But he has been kind of linked together with them for some reason, because it's a reuse of the Slash mold, who is a combiner for the Dinobots. Well, not a combiner, but an add-on for the Dinobots. But in any case, you have Sinnertwin, Blot, and the one which I have the box for is Cutthroat. Only used one box because they all have this pretty much the same box. The only difference is the artwork and the name of the character. For the European releases, I don't think it even gives you any. Actually, no, it does give a small bit of bio for each one. So it says, how will the merciless Terrorcon shock trooper wield the power of the primes? And then just has the same thing in different languages. So there's not much on it, and then just shows images of the bot in robot mode, beast mode, and then just has the power armor or prime master armor. So basically, he's a retool of the swoop mold. Now, I generally don't do Transformer reviews. There is other people out there that do far better Transformer reviews than I. But just because I'm a big fan of the Terrorcons, I said I'd just do one for these guys. I probably will do a review for the other two and then show the combined mode if I can get the other two. But at the moment they seem to be hard to find. So I have them all in beast mode. So for transformation, actually just before we go into transformation in beast mode, Blot stands just around from the tip of the gun, around just under 5 inches. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera, but the Cutthroat is about 4, standing on his hind legs, and from up to the tip of the gun, Sinnertwin is about 3, or 3.5 actually, sorry. He's 3 without it. The wingspan on wingspan fully kind of splayed out. Just move the last bit out. It's roughly around 8.5 inches for Cutthroat, and lengthwise Sinnertwin is just under 7 inches. So they all come with a fist for the combined mode, and it also acts as a heel spur which you plug into the back of the foot, so it gives you extra balance. They're all pretty much look identical. The only difference is the colouring and the paint apps. And what you do is, if you have any of the Prime Masters, you pull out this piece and you just plop them in there. You can also put the Headmasters from the Titans Return series in, because they were part of the same line as the Combiner Wars. So, but just for fists, they basically do that. I like to do it this way, so you don't see the 2 thumbs on it, which kind of looks a bit weird. But you just fold it all back up, and they do combine onto these guys. So Blot's one just fits onto his back for a kind of power mode. Cutthroats, you kind of angle the wings up a touch, you flatten out the fist as it is, and his gun is there, and you basically, there's 2 peg holes, and you just plug them into the peg holes, and that is his Power Master thing combined onto that. And then for Hungars, the way they show it is, it's just plugged onto the side of his, or not Hungars, Sinnertwins. It just plugs onto the side of his upper leg. I like to kind of put it onto his back. It doesn't show it like that on the instructions, and then just plonk his gun in the side, so he still has his armament. Or you can put the gun on the side, or if you want to be interesting, there is a plug hole here. and you could kind of put the gun underneath, and then he has like an armor mode. Just bring the camera down a bit. Use the moment. So you can see he has kind of a gun underneath, and then he has kind of armor up on top, kind of gives him extra armor. So I also found that Cutthroat's weapon can be stored on either of these sides. There's a small peg on the gun, so you can either put it on this side or this side. But if you look at the artwork on the actual box, if I just bring the box in, you can actually see that the gun is actually in the center above his head. So what I do, there's actually a very small peg hole here. You can actually kind of plug it in there on his back, but it doesn't give him the clearance like it does in the artwork. It doesn't go all the way up over his shoulder or over his head, but you can get him, have his gun kind of in flight mode, so you can do it that way as well. For transformation to robot mode, now as I said, I won't really do the transformation to combine our limb. So you fold Cutthroat's head, bird head down like this, reveals his normal head. You fold up the kind of what would you call it, the fin on his head. You can fold his wings into here. There's a small little indentation that the wings sit into. You can fold the wings back all together if you want, out of the way. You take his feet, his monster feet at least, and you fold them down, and you fold them into this kind of pose, and then you unhook the feet, and they just kind of double ratchet down onto his knee, and then you fold up that, pull out his arms. The arms tab in with a little tab at the side here. Fold out the hand, rotate it around, same on the other side, rotate it around, and there he is in robot mode. And you can put his gun in his hand, and you can combine this thing onto him in robot mode as kind of prime armor, it's called. And the way it works is there's two little tabs on the side of the head, of the beast head. So when it's on his chest, it just plugs into those, and it looks completely ridiculous. So I just prefer to leave it off, or fold out the wings and put it on his back, like he has in beast mode. But that is Cutthroat in robot mode. For Blot, you need to take off his gun, which just plugs into the side. His feet fold up, and there's a little tab, or there's a little peg hole on the back of his feet, and they plug into a tab on both sides. And then you just flip down the legs, and then you take his actual monster feet and just rotate them back, split the legs, take this entire section which covers over his head, fold it back, and there's two tabs up here that tab into kind of the section here up behind his head. You can fold this piece up, then you just fold these purple pieces into his shoulder, and then for his hands you just rotate the hands around, and there you have Blot in his robot mode. Now the instructions show him with the prime armor attached to his chest, so there is a panel that flips down so you can do that. And what you're supposed to do then is when you have that prime armor flip down, you put his gun up above his shoulder, which is what it shows in the instructions. But I just prefer to keep it in his hand. I think it looks better in his hand than on his shoulder. The way he shows it, you put it with this kind of square peg, but I prefer to put it into his hand with the round peg, and I generally don't use the prime armor piece on him in robot mode, so I just leave him as his kind of standard self. Head sculpt is quite cool. All these guys have a lot of joints all over the place, so the head is on a swivel. It's supposed to be a ball joint, but it's very large. He has a very large chin, as does Sinnertwin, or Cutthroat. Swivel here at the kind of elbow with the ball joint. He has forward, back swivel, upper thigh swivel, knee joints, nothing in the ankles. He does have a waist articulation, which is just below the crotch, or just around the crotch piece, and he has some ball jointed shoulders. For Cutthroat, very similar, out the side, upper swivel, single jointed elbow, get about a 90-degree bend. He does have a waist swivel. He does have a jointed knee, and that upper thigh swivel as well. and that is him. And he has the ball jointed head, but it's really tight on my version. I don't like moving it too much. And so on to the final guy, which is Sinnertwin, which is kind of my favourite of the three, although Cutthroat was the first one I picked up, and he's kind of starting to become more and more my favourite. So pull off his weapon and the prime armour piece. Best thing to do is start with the feet. So his feet do articulate, they're actually just plugged in, but there's little indents that the foot connects into. You can see there's a kind of line there that when you move it, it kind of ratchets and closes into place, so you can rotate the leg all the way around so it's out of the way. Pull down the tail. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. You have to kind of split the back of the foot so it opens up like that, and then kind of angle the legs down so they rotate around. It's a bit, I find it tight on my one. Then you just close up the back of the leg again. Probably best to split the legs and then fold down the tail, so he has kind of a more enclosed feet than the other two. For his top half, you just rotate this on a swivel so it goes up, give him his shoulders, flip back the hand, it clicks into place, and then flip out the hand, or flip back the paw as you should say, clicks into place, comes out, and sometimes you have to maneuver these back into place. And then for the dragon head, you just open the whole piece back, open again, flip over his head, close this up, and you can leave these heads all the way down, or you can just kind of fold them up onto his back. They don't really peg into place, but they do just kind of lie onto his back. And you can give him his weapon as well. Again, prime armor piece can go on his chest for battle mode, or whatever we want to call it. But overall, he's really, really cool. If you can't pick these guys up, I do recommend picking them up. They do have a combine mode. As I said, I don't have the combiner parts, or not the, I don't have the rest of the combiners for them, so I won't do it, show it off. But if I do pick up the rest of the team, I will do a combine mode and show all the limbs. Each robot can become either a foot or an arm. There's, multiple combinations that you can do. You can have you can have Blot as the foot, Blot as the arm. You can have him as a left foot, right foot, or left arm, right arm. So the only guy that doesn't have a kind of combination is Hunger. He has to be the torso the whole time. The rest of them can be placed on any limb. But there's sort of they kind of have a standard version of what he should look like, but then it's open to interpretation to which way you want them as well. So all in all, I really love these guys. Just a quick look at the head sculpts on these guys. I really love the head sculpts. Sinnertwin has kind of really... He's not my favourite of the head sculpts. I love Blot's head with the red kind of visor and the silver mask. And Cutthroat, I just absolutely love Cutthroat as well. It's really cool. He doesn't have like the visor, but he has the red eyes as well, which is really cool. They don't have light piping on any of them so far, but overall they're really good. So hope you enjoyed this video review. As I say, I generally don't review Transformers. Actually, just before I finish off, robot mode sizes. So about 5.5 for Sinnertwin, about the same for Blot, and just around 5.5, just a little under 6 for Cutthroat as well in robot mode. So all in all, guys, great video, great figures. If you can pick them up, I kind of missed out on a lot of the Combiner War stuff and a lot of the other combiners. I picked these ones up because I never had Abominus as a kid, but I always loved the design for him, and I just love the monster bots, so I just thought they're really cool. So there you go, guys, quick video review. As I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my videos, and I hope you enjoy this review. Cheers, guys.